All right, it's time to talk about the Baltimore Ravens, who have been one of the more boring teams this year. We're talking about a team that when I have to go and watch their game film, I kind of dread it. And it's not just because they aren't a good team. I don't mind watching some of the bad teams. Like the Browns are at least entertaining to watch. But this Ravens team, they're flat. They have a solid defense, but offensively, nothing really excites you. They're kind of in a rut. They are 3-4 right now, but I just don't see this team really going anywhere this year. I do have some pieces to build around. I have them at number 20 in my power rankings. Defensively, they are very solid, but just in terms of the offense, I think the receivers need to be upgraded. The running backs need to be upgraded. They have good tight ends at least, and Joe Flacco, I don't think you need to replace Flacco. But then you go to the defensive side, it's just kind of an awkward unit. You got some really good young guys, especially the D lineman. Jernigan has been just awesome this year. The linebackers, you got C.J. Mosley, he's a young stud. You got this Matt Judon at outside linebacker starting to play kind of well. And then Zach Orr has been very good, replacing Darryl Smith on the inside. In the secondary, they've been okay. Jimmy Smith's had a pretty decent year. I think Sharice Wright is an intriguing player. He's a veteran, really, really good in terms of run defense. Just a corner I've talked about on my shows in the past. Pops off the screen in terms of those bubble screens. I would not advise a team to try and throw at him in terms of short passing game. And the safeties, Eric Weddle's, I've been asked a lot, how's Eric Weddle doing? Because you don't really watch the Ravens that much. Weddle's been pretty good. He's been Eric Weddle. But it's just this team's flat. They don't seem to have much to play for right now. They kind of know they're a solid team with a low ceiling. And another team that, like the Bengals, I don't really know where they go from here because they're not going to have a high draft pick. They're not going to be able to bring in a superstar on the offense. So they're really going to have to, I think, adapt to bringing back that old-style Baltimore Ravens defense. Maybe C.J. Mosley can elevate to one of those top 5 middle linebackers, and you build around that. But I just don't see it right now. They're ranked 20th. I wouldn't expect much going forward from the Ravens. They will definitely be a tough out week after week, though, just because that defense will keep them in games. And the offense isn't so bad that they can't score against anyone. But just not very excited about the Ravens for this year. But I do expect, John Harbaugh will stick around. He's a great coach. It's a great organization. I don't think Ravens fans should be panicking for the future. But that's all I'm going to say for the Ravens. And lastly, we're going to move on to the Browns here to wrap up the AFC North.